Ah, Theroshan, come, sit. I figured instead of our usual lessons, tonight we would start with a reading. The Kaldori have forgotten more about our histories than we will ever know. So many records were lost during the Sundering, even more during the burning of Teldrassil. So it's important we preserve what we know. As druids, we are the guardians of nature, the Emerald Dream, and the World Trees, which are the topic of today's lesson. Starting with Ganir, the Mother Tree, then Elun'Ahir the First, if the legends are to be believed. Shaladdrassil, planted in Val Shara more than 10,000 years ago before the Sundering. After that, Nordrassil atop Mount Hyjal after the Sundering. Then Vordrassil in the Grizzly Hills, which unfortunately was corrupted by the old gods and had to be cut down. And Teldrassil off the shore of Kalimdor, and now Amirdrassil, here in Belemeth. Let's start with the Legend of Ganir, the Mother Tree. Tome of the Ancients is recorded by Saladin, lead historian of the Dreamweavers. In Azeroth's ancient days, natural life never had a chance to emerge due to the horrifying reign of the old gods. Without help, nature would not have risen at all. The Titans knew this. One of their final acts of aid for us was to give the Keepers the knowledge and power to reverse the old gods' unspeakable destruction. In time, nature would rise. Life would flourish. Generations of plants and animals would grow and change. This miraculous recovery did not come from any one place, but at the beginning there was a source of healing and balance, a place where all life could rest and revive. It was called Ganir, the Mother Tree. Keeper Freya was charged by the Titans to guide the seeding of Azeroth's natural life. To aid in this task, she shaped a mystical realm that would become known as the Emerald Dream. She wanted it to be an unspoiled vision of nature, undisturbed by the forces of evil or external civilizations. She began by creating a single, massive tree set atop a high peak within the dream. From it bloomed many different fruits and flowers, and new life flowed outward in waves, sweeping across the land. Freya sculpted pools of life in other locations within the Emerald Dream, but this tree was the first, the tallest, and the most radiant. For millennia, it served as a source of healing and balance that extended beyond the dream and into the physical world. As life flourished on Azeroth, generations of animals came and went. Soon the Emerald Dream was filled with the spirits of countless beasts. That first tree that Freya had created, Ganir, became a haven for winged creatures. Its many boughs and branches had room for all, and its healing, peaceful energy calmed even the most distressed minds. Many powerful spirits were drawn to Ganir. Some wanted to simply gaze upon it, while others wanted to sit at its base and bask in its shade for a while. One never left. A wild god named Aviana made the Mother Tree her home for as long as she lived. Aviana was known as the Mistress of Birds. Unlike some other wild gods, she did not keep herself distant from lesser mortal creatures. She was a predator, delighting in swooping down on prey from the sky. Eventually, she was called something new, the Mistress of the Mother Tree. She had grown utterly enchanted with Ganir. It was more than a tree, it was a source of life, healing, and peace. Aviana spent years melding her power into the tree, and soon all living winged creatures on Azeroth dreamed of spending the afterlife flying through its branches. Aviana's spirit became intertwined with the Mother Tree. In time, this would have lasting consequences. 10,000 years ago, Azeroth was invaded. The Burning Legion stormed onto our lands and waged war on all who would resist it. There were few people inclined to fight back, and they were greatly outnumbered. The first Archdruid, Malfurion Stormrage, called upon the Wild Gods to join the fight. Not only would a Legion victory eradicate the elves, but it would also spell doom for all life on Azeroth. Many Wild Gods answered Malfurion's cry. Aviana was one of them. When the Wild Gods joined the battle against the Burning Legion, the demons were taken aback. Surely they had not been expecting nature to produce such powerful enemies. That day will never be forgotten as long as Azeroth remains free of the Legion's control. Aviana led flocks of birds from all over on the hunt for Legion minions. Untold numbers of demons died to her and her children. But the Burning Legion's forces were too great. Aviana fell from the sky, and demonic spears ended her life. The shock of Aviana's death reverberated through the Emerald Dream, and all the leaves of Ganir fell from their branches. The great mother tree, home to the spirits of countless creatures, was dead. Many mourned for it, and some succumbed to the temptation of serving dark forces in Aviana's absence. But although she had died, her spirit still lingered. As the Night Elves struggled to rebuild their society in the wake of the Sundering, members of the Green Dragonflight discovered a gift. A single branch of Ganir, with a single acorn hanging off its leaves, had been left in their keeping in the Emerald Dream. The acorn was used by Alexstrasza, aspect of the Red Dragonflight, to create Nordrassil, the great world tree that would protect the second Well of Eternity. Malfurion Stormrage sensed that Aviana's spirit had been the one to bestow the branch of Ganir, and he believed it was best kept hidden. Many of Aviana's children had been lost to chaos, and they might be driven to claim any remnant of her legacy for their new masters. Quietly, Malfurion moved the branch of Ganir to a safe location deep within the Emerald Dream. Only a few people ever knew where it was kept, but its influence was felt far and wide. For many millennia, the branch served as a stabilizing force for the Emerald Dream, and the land near it was said to be a place of great healing and peace. The events of the Cataclysm shook Azeroth and the Emerald Dream to their roots. As the Night Elves fought to repel the forces of Ragnaros from Mount Hyjal, they asked the champions of Azeroth to summon new allies, or, to be specific, old ones. Many of the Wild Gods who had died in the War of the Ancients were resurrected. Aviana returned to life on Azeroth and joined the Horde and the Alliance in successfully pushing the elemental forces back into the Firelands. In the end, Ragnaros was killed, and Mount Hyjal was saved. Aviana turned her attention to Ganir once again. Times had changed, but her dreams of providing a spiritual haven for her kind had not. She set out to restore the Mother Tree to its full glory. The branch of the Mother Tree remained in the Emerald Dream. Unbeknownst to the Druids, the forces of the Emerald Nightmare were already gathering for an assault. When they investigated key sources of power within the dream, they discovered the true nature of Ganir. The Satyr Lord Xavius, working on behalf of the Burning Legion to taint the dream, ordered his forces to exercise caution. This branch of Ganir was corrupted slowly, very slowly, in such ways that even its guardians could not sense it. When the nightmare revealed itself, the branch suddenly pulsed with evil. Had it been left corrupted, it might have thrown the entire Emerald Dream into chaos. Since it has been cleansed, that plan, at least, was thwarted. Next we have the Legend of Elun'Ahir. This is a bit atypical, since it's considered something of a myth, but seeing as I'm in charge of your lessons, I don't see why we shouldn't read it. As we gather to defend Nordrassil, we cannot help but recall the tragic fates of World Trees past. Those lost to sacrifice, to corruption, to flame. Yet there is an ancient tale, some claim it merely a legend, that tells of an earlier world tree that also met a sorrowful fate. Though it lived only a short time, its legacy endures. Long before the first dragons drew breath, Azeroth was conquered by writhing horrors that plummeted from the skies and infested our world. The old gods. How long the reign of their Black Empire lasted, we cannot know. Surely it must have been a time of unimaginable suffering. But at long last, there came hope. The brave Titan Agrimar discovered Azeroth shining like a beacon in the great dark. As he gazed upon the beauty and power of its slumbering soul, he realized it was imperiled. He told the other members of the Pantheon how the world they sought had been corrupted by the old gods. The Titans gathered to eradicate this dark influence. Seeking to bring hope and healing, our patron Titan Elun'Ahir carried a gift given to her by Elune, a branch of Ganir, the Mother World Tree. The Titan believed that the influence of life would drive the darkness away, so she reached down her hand and shaped the soil of Azeroth, planting the branch where it could be fed by river and sky. The branch swiftly grew into a tree, its roots extending deep, deep below the surface. Elun'Ahir smiled, for everywhere the roots stretched, new life emerged. She called the tree Elun'Ahir in honor of her great love. When Aman'Thul saw what Elun'Ahir had done, he chided her. "This is not order," he bellowed. "You have infected this world with uncontrolled chaos." The High Father took hold of the World Tree's trunk and tore it from the earth. Elun'Ahir wept bitter tears that rained down upon the resulting crater. But as she peered down upon the sundered earth, the Titan realized a truth she did not share with the High Father. Though he had destroyed the tree, its winding roots still held firm beneath the soil, hidden from Aman'Thul's gaze. As the forces of the Titans waged war against the Black Empire, Elun'Ahir bid her keeper Freya to watch over the crater and nurture the life that blossomed there. Below ground, the roots fed upon the tears of Elun'Ahir and grew strong. The war was long, but in the end, the Titans claimed victory, and Elun'Ahir was pleased, knowing Elune's legacy would endure. It is said that much later, as the world entered a new age, mysterious guardians arrived who dedicated their lives to protecting the roots. But that is a tale for another time. Now let us stand with our allies to defend Nordrassil, Crown of Harmony. Together we will preserve this symbol of hope, this symbol of the future. The last book I have today is about Nordrassil, the world tree that nourished our people for 10 millennia atop Mount Hyjal. For many years, the Night Elves worked tirelessly to rebuild what they could of their ancient homeland. Leaving their broken temples and roads to be overgrown, they constructed their new homes amidst the verdant trees and shadowed hills at Hyjal's base. In time, the dragons that had survived the Great Sundering came forth from their secret abodes. Alexstrasza the Red, Ysera the Green, and Nozdormu the Bronze descended upon the druids' tranquil glades and surveyed the fruits of the night elves' labors. Malfurion, who had become an archdruid of immense power, greeted the mighty dragons and told them about the creation of the new Well of Eternity. The great dragons were alarmed to hear the dark news, and speculated that as long as the well remained, the Legion might one day return and assault the world once again. Malfurion and the three dragons made a pact to keep the well safe and ensure that the agents of the Burning Legion would never find their way back into the world. Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder, placed a single enchanted acorn within the heart of the Well of Eternity. The acorn, activated by the potent magical waters, sprung to life as a colossal tree. The mighty tree's roots grew from the well's waters, and its verdant canopy seemed to scrape the roof of the sky. The immense tree would be an everlasting symbol of the Night Elves' bond with nature, and its life-giving energies would extend out to heal the rest of the world over time. The Night Elves gave their world tree the new name Nordrassil, which meant crown of the heavens in their native tongue. Nozdormu, the Timeless, placed an enchantment upon the world tree to ensure that as long as the colossal tree stood, the Night Elves would never age or fall prey to sickness or disease. Ysera, the Dreamer, also placed an enchantment upon the world tree by linking it to her own realm, the ethereal dimension known as the Emerald Dream. The Emerald Dream, a vast, ever-changing spirit world, existed outside the boundaries of the physical world. From the dream, Ysera regulated the ebb and flow of nature and the evolutionary path of the world itself. The Night Elf Druids, including Malfurion himself, were bound to the dream through the World Tree. As part of the mystical pact, the Druids agreed to sleep for centuries at a time, so that their spirits could roam the infinite paths of Ysera's dreamways. Though the Druids were grieved at the prospect of losing so many years of their lives to hibernation, they selflessly agreed to uphold their bargain with Ysera.